What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage coming to you live out of Portland, Oregon. I've got my good friend, Trevor Hammond. And Trevor, how many years have we known each other, brother? I mean, has it been,
Wow.
I know it's over 10, but is it?
I bet it's 15 at least.
At least 15.
Yeah.
So I've got my good friend for 15 years, mastermind buddy. For those who have not seen Trevor speak before, who Trevor is to me is he's always been a modern mortgage professional before that was a thing. He's always used advice as his competitive advantage before that was a movement in the mortgage industry. He's a branch manager and he is a coach for High Trust Coaching with Todd Duncan. And I can only assume you're going to be on stage at Sales Mastery.
Stage, yeah, the virtual stage. I'll be on a couple panels, absolutely.
Nice. Well, I flew out to Atlanta a couple of weeks ago and recorded the panel I'm going to be on, and I just can't wait, man. I think this is going to be a really special event.
I think it's going to be, from not sure how to do it to possibly one of the best ones he's ever had. I'm pretty excited to see how it all comes out.
Yeah, I am too. Well, I wanted to get on a call a couple weeks before Sales Mastery, and I'd really like to debrief after Sales Mastery. But I don't know, I am just sensing when I talk to leaders, executives, managers, like people are kind of tired. Like there was a time where it was like exciting, COVID. Well, yeah. COVID wasn't exciting. That was like concerning, but it got exciting. Rates went down. We're killing it. And now I sense, absolute overwhelm, tired. When I interview a lot of loan officers, it's like, hey, what's your number one priority? My team, and not burning them out. Mm-hmm. So I'm hearing that. I want to, from the coach's chair, because you coach not only a branch, but a lot of loan officers through High Trust. What are you hearing? And then what advice are you giving to loan officers right now?
Yeah, I mean, we were chatting about this a little bit earlier. I've been using the word fatigue, to be honest, Dave. Some people will say, God, I'm feeling kind of burnt out. And I don't like that word. I mean, nobody likes that phrase. So I go, let's just admit we're fatigued. I started, sometimes we'll unravel all we've been through this year. I mean, as you know, we've been dealing with a pandemic. Now we're going on like month 7 pretty much of almost being shut down, at least here in the Portland area where you and I are. So it's been this constant fire hose of opportunities for us as in the origination world. Like as I've been saying, the market turned towards us. So that's the blessing in all this, right? If you're in the origination mortgage world in some way, the market turned towards us. At the same time, your favorite restaurant went out of business. Record unemployment rates, the pandemic, right? I don't even like the word COVID anymore. I'm so tired of it, but Rona 19. Social unrest, right? Especially here in our own town. And I sometimes have to remind, my coaching clients through High Trust or at my branch that it's okay to be honest with how much we've been dealing with. I mean, all of that, online school, if you got kids, right? My kids are downstairs right now trying, on Zoom as well, and trying to figure out a new world of being educated, and the teachers trying to figure out. And my daughter got Zoom bombed yesterday on the first day of school. I'm like, how are you not ready for that these days?
Yeah, right.
Oh,
and then we're in Oregon. I don't know about you. I'm always an optimist and feel great, but it looks like Mars outside my office.
Yeah, so now we have fires. I'm like,
yeah, now the state
what else is going to happen, right?
So by the way, before we gloss over that, anybody that's listening to this that's being affected by the fires, I mean, our heart goes out to you, because while I'm being affected, my mood is affected, my air, like I can feel it. But man, there are some families that are losing everything and, even lives. So our heart goes out to you guys. We do not want to underplay anybody who's really being hit by and it's not even Oregon, it's the entire West Coast. Yeah. So I thought this topic was a good one today. I almost feel like it's going to start raining frogs tomorrow. But anyways, keep it going. I didn't want to gloss past that because it is such a devastating thing.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all probably know somebody that's being impacted. I know we have clients that have been impacted. We've done loans for people that no longer have a home. So it's scary. So it's like, what else can you pile on us? And sometimes we're really good at probably shielding ourselves or hiding it, but man, that's a lot for any of us to, without having like record month after record month. And I'm constantly hearing back from my, my team and the originators I coach. I got 7 loans sitting here that I can't even get back to that I need to get turned in. I got leads sitting on there I haven't called back in a week that are on, have left me messages. And there's this constant pressure, let alone the outside world pressures. So every time I've said fatigue, people are like, yeah, that's it. I'm just fatigued, tired. And so we've now had to switch over to like, okay, well, as a coach, like, what do we do about it? Like, I can't come in and make you no longer tired. How do we, and I'm naturally wired that way, and I think you are too, but how do we just start to change that script up? What did we get away from, right? Like one of the things, morning routines. I mean, that's a big part of the conversation. Is we talked about this back March, April, May, like when all this was starting to happen around the world, morning routines kind of went out the door for a lot of us. We just got away from those habits that set our days up right. And then it just got busier and busier. You've got some rock stars on your calls, and you thought you were busy, and all of a sudden, July got busier. Then August was even busier. And then September is even busier. It's unbelievable what we're trying to handle right now. So one of the things we just start with the real basics with people is getting them back to how to start your day better. Like, what do we need to get back to? What do we need to implement again? Or what do we need to start doing you've never done to start the day properly? To get your headspace right, because you can't just keep waking up in this chaos in your business and outside of your house, and in the world around you, and then think you're showing up in the best possible way for your clients, your team, your real estate partners. So I'll stop there, but that's kind of where we get started, is some real basics that they can apply right away.
I love that. I think that is so true. The morning routine has never been more important. I interviewed Hal Elrod a few weeks ago, guys, and anyone that wants to, we'll talk a little bit about morning routine right here, but guys, full hour of Hal reminding us about the miracle morning and the habits within that interview to the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel. It's been within the past 3 weeks. So important. So let's unpack that a little bit and what you tell your clients around morning routine. And then let's give some other ideas. Mm-hmm. Mortgage Coach community, I want to remind you, this is a mastermind. So if you're watching this live on Facebook and you have my biggest struggle that I'm trying to overcome, I do, like, we're starting this off. Let's face the facts. Let's face the struggle. Let's be honest. Guys, by the time we finish this, we're going to be pumped. We're going to talk about how do we overcome and how do we prevail and how do we close 2020 strong. So for anyone who's on this and you're like, oh man, I don't need more news and reminder of how negative it is, we're done. We're going to now focus on how we can make it better.
Exactly.
And we're going to end this conversation on how to crush 2020, no matter what else comes to us. Now, again, I can't speak for Trevor, but I'm not going to come like, I got it figured out, because I am having unbelievable moments during the day, and I am having like humbling moments during the day where I have to like, okay, we're going to be okay. Yeah. So we don't have it figured out, but we do want to have a conversation that gives you roadmap, inspiration, and strategies. So how much do you want to talk about morning rhythms? And then how much do you want to talk about other strategies?
I think we dive into a bunch of strategies. I think, not taking up a lot of people's time, but I think people will hear what they need to hear from this call, probably, right? Morning routines can be real simple. And I absolutely do not have it figured out. I've had to get back into some routines where I used to read every day for 30 minutes. And I found myself after a while, opening up my phone first thing in the morning. That's the worst thing we can do. We've all been told that, but I started doing it. And so I had to break that habit and get back to just reading something that fills us up positively. Gratitude. Okay. I know Hal's very into that, but how often are we starting our day with just thinking about all the things we're grateful for? Or throughout the day, when you're really finding yourself going down that spiral, how good are you at taking yourself out of that and just real quickly, 30 seconds going, man, I'm grateful my family's healthy. I'm grateful I have a job and I'm making good money while a lot of people around me and around this country aren't. I think right there, you can't be grateful and mad at the same time. Your brain doesn't work that way. So gratitude's huge, and it takes really no time. And these are not new things or new ideas to anybody. I think that for a lot of coaching clients out there and any originators out there, it's just we all need to be reminded of certain things that we either used to do or know we should be doing, we just haven't been doing. And after weeks, months go by, and we're just like, we're done. You feel done, but you still got 18 people to get back to. Hit pause for a second. What am I grateful for? The other thing I'd say is exercise. I cannot tell you how often I listen to a coaching client just rant about all the things going on and how stressed out they are, and I can't get my time blocking right, and I can't do this, and team issues, capacity issues. I'm like, are you exercising? Like, when's the last time you just got out and went for a walk for a half hour, or got on the old Peloton that you invested in earlier this year, right? Like I did. And they say, no. Sorry, coach, not exercising, right? You know, there's something there scientifically, right? You release that dopamine, and you're just happier, and your brain starts solving problems. So, you know, that's the simple stuff that I think to start with for anybody out there that's just feeling that fatigue, that tired, and you want to finish this year strong, which is kind of where we want to take all this. Because we're not just going to sit there and say, woe is me. That's not the answer here. The reality is, I think I wrote a blog on this, and I shared with my team, is you and I every day are either giving energy or taking energy from other people. So I'd rather be somebody who's given energy. I want to give other people energy. I don't want to be the one that's just sucking the energy out of others around me, because they won't want to be around me. And that goes for my clients, my realtors, my team, my other originator friends in my office. So these are things that get you into that positive energy mindset, and you will close more deals. Your clients will be happier. They found you. So it's very important not to get too far into that, but exercise is a big one. The morning routines put you in the right space. And then anything you can do to interrupt patterns. It's one of my favorite things to do, is like, how do we interrupt a pattern? And what I mean by that is, Dave, are you a camper, Dave? Do you go camping at all?
I love camping. I mean, I'm a fly fisherman. It's been a while since I've actually slept on the ground, but I have slept on the ground in a tent hundreds of times. But now that my kids are
You're
older,
in Oregon, you have to now.
well,
Yeah.
now that my kids are older, we're more like, you know, Airbnb in it, you know, but
Yeah.
I am a camper.
Little glamping.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, I was thinking about this recently, and I was like, you know, when you're out, you build a fire. Maybe it's in your backyard. Right? I got a fire pit out in my backyard, and I love having fires. But what happens after a while if you don't tend to that fire or add any wood to it? What eventually happens to that fire?
It goes out.
Starts going out, right?
And it makes a lot of smoke in the process.
Exactly. And then, you know, my wife hates how my clothes all smell. So right now, I feel like that's a good analogy for many of us in our energy levels. So you got to add wood to that fire. And so some of these things just kind of rekindle that fire. And I don't know if it was last week, the week before, I've been upstairs in my home office here, like many people, working my butt off. And I'll sit here from 7:30 in the morning, getting some reading in, doing my gratitude. And then I don't even show my face to my family downstairs, you know, till 4 or 5 at night that afternoon. All of a sudden I was like, why don't I take this laptop here and go out back in the sunshine and work for the afternoon? Right? So that's interrupting a pattern. And I coach this stuff, but I wasn't even doing it myself sometimes. What is that?
I had to bring a prop for something I bought. And that exactly what you said, it's basically a desktop piece of wood that fits on a tripod. It's like $100, and I can put this up anywhere and have a workspace anywhere on our property. Now, when I got it, I'm like, I'm going to take this on a hiking trip and, you know, like find this killer area and just be a nerd. Where I haven't done that. But when I bought it, I was like, okay, now I can work anywhere on our property, any room in our house, and I can take it into cool places. I haven't done that, but I just want you to know that's a great idea.
Baby steps, man. It's right there.
Guys, I will put a link down below for anybody that wants to get the mobile tripod work desk. It's badass.
Yeah, buddy. I love it. So, but that's interrupting patterns, right? I love
Yeah,
it. Like at
good
least you're
idea.
thinking about how can I change this up? Because that'll give me a little dose of energy. We went to Bend, Central Oregon, for those of you not from the Oregon area, for a few days last week. We were going to come home Sunday, and we said, why are we even going home? Like everything's virtual right now. So we found a VRBO in Black Butte, which I know you know Black Butte, Dave.
Beautiful
I
place.
worked there for 4 days. Every day I did all my same calls, all my Zoom meetings with my coaching clients, my own team, my ops team. And the first thing they'll say is like, where are you? Right? Because it's just a different background. And we spent a few minutes talking about what we're doing. And they're like, all of them said, well, I should be doing that. Like, why am I not changing it up and doing something different? So, yeah, I think that's another action step, is just find something that interrupts a pattern. It's kind of like back in the day, they would say, you've been taking a right on that street to go home for 5 straight years. Take a left.
I
Just
love that,
something,
Trevor.
right?
No
That just
one,
triggers.
I do a lot of interviews. Hal Elrod, he got to the morning rhythms before you did, but that's a new idea. That has not come up in the mortgage coach community, breaking the pattern. So I throw that one back to the mortgage coach community. If you have gone and worked out of an Airbnb, if anybody else has got the outdoor work set up, and by the way, something we aren't talking about, if you're doing something to break up the pattern, share it in comments down below. I think
We all need that. I'd
yeah,
love to have more
it's a
ideas.
great idea. So what are you doing, mortgage coach community? Let us know. What are you doing to break the pattern while working? What are you doing to break the pattern while you're grinding and working? I want to know.
Yeah.
Love that idea, dude.
You said a key word there. I think if I hear the word grinding again, I'll lose it, because people are accepting that they have to grind right now. And I think that puts just a bad vibe into your own head. Like, you don't have to grind. If you're choosing to grind, that's great. But are you really then building a sustainable business model right now? I think that's where, if you want to step back a little bit now and really on how we want to finish this year, with all the stress that goes along with just overcapacity and not to mention, by the way, all the things that the industry has been throwing at us, we still got to step back and go, how are we leveraging the last, say, 3.5 months to really build the business while I have all these opportunities coming at me? How am I using these at bats to improve my experience for my clients, my process, doing more in less time, right? Like, one of the things we track in as a high trust coach and all our coaching clients is hourly rate. Some people doing a lot of business right now, their hourly rate actually sucks, because they're working 200 plus hours every month, 250 hours a month. They're having big paychecks, bigger than they've ever had, but their hourly rate's actually not that great. So that's a cool measurement that I recommend to whoever's not doing that. Go back and look at your August, right? Figure out what was your commissions you earned. Go back to your calendar as best you can. Figure out how many hours you worked and what really was your hourly rate. And use that as a measurement, as a metric or KPI going forward the rest of this year, to go, man, I want to increase that number, because you can increase it by more revenue, more commission, or doing that in fewer hours is the best way. That's the most fun way. How do I keep the revenue going, but also find more balance in my life and not work 7 days a week? Because that's been one of the lies, and I don't want to keep talking too much here, but that's been one of the lies that I'm finding is a lot of people, when you get them to be honest with themselves, they at first say they're taking some time off or taking a day off, but they didn't really take a day off. They answered some calls. They got a couple pre-approval letters out. So it really wasn't a day off. And you multiply that by 7 months, you get tired. You just get tired. So some of it is, where can we find some time to rejuvenate? And that's really probably the other key I bring up all the time is rejuvenation. Taking a day off is not some reward we do after we kill ourselves for weeks and months in a row. It is an absolute requirement to be at our best and be worth hundreds of dollars an hour to every client we help. And you can't be like that when you're tired, you're not exercising, you're not grateful, and you're not mixing it up to interrupt your patterns, you've got to take some time off, even if it's one day.
So let's summarize some things, guys. We talked about the morning routine, and reminder to everybody, your morning routine starts with how you go to bed. Do you go to bed early? Do you go to bed not with too much alcohol, not with too much caffeine? How you end your day matters most. And then you have a healthy routine, whatever yours is. How Elrod has his scribe, his 7. I know for me what my scribe and doing with all of 7s, that's my goal. But I know a couple things I have to do to be my best. There's 3 things that Dave Savage needs to do if I'm going to be my best. What are your top 3? Are you clear on those? Are you going to bed well? Are you doing the 3 things that matter most for you in the morning? And really, there's probably 6 or 7 that you should do, but there's 3 that you have to do. Reminder, he laid out exercise. Are you getting some exercise throughout the day? And that doesn't mean you had to go to the gym. That doesn't mean you had to, do bar dips and be Jocko Willink and, kill it. But it does mean you probably went for a walk and a nature walk, somewhere where you got some fresh air. Of course, in Oregon, right this minute, that's not an option. But
my Peloton's in the garage, thankfully.
Yeah, but it's even then, it's so smoky out. It's, even inside of my house, it's not the same. So, but that's going to be over in a couple of days. So guys, get outside. Loved the change your scenery, move things up, work in different places. Make sure you get the silver linings of what we're going through right now. Because there's a lot of silver linings. My son has gone away to college now, but beforehand, we were playing cards every day. We were playing ping pong every day. I was fitting in a ping pong game, a card game within my workday. Make sure you're getting those silver linings. I love that. So I do want to hit on a couple things, Trevor, because I really want to close 2020 strong. And I think, modern mortgage professionals deliver more value for families, and they deliver better service. And the mortgage coach movement, the high trust movement, it's scaling because, and I also see the best of the best are killing it. I've never interviewed so many loan officers doing over 40 and 50 loans a month. But I still see loan officers that are struggling. So the gap between the top 10% and the rest, I think has widened. And I think, between now and the end of 2020, part of getting better is just upgrading yourself. It's learning new skills and knowing that we got Sales Mastery in 2 weeks. First of all, guys, we will close out with a reminder, sign up for Sales Mastery, but there's never been a more important Sales Mastery, folks. Not only has Todd, like always, obsessed over creating a transformational experience, but now it's not only a live event, but it's an on-demand event. So make sure you go to salesmasteryevent.com. We'll put a link down below. That's never been more important. Coaching, getting coached has never been more important. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the skills that need to be learned. And then, clearly, I don't know, are you booked as a coach? do you have any room to coach anybody?
I'm booked. I'm booked. So there's 2 things. We are looking to offer more coaching to more people. I truly, and you do too, I know, believe in the whole high trust methodology. I have fallen back in love the last several years with high trust selling and the fundamentals that go into that. I teach to my own team. And we're looking for more coaches. We have a lot of people right now who want a coach, need a coach, want somebody to walk them through how to scale up their business, which right now is, a lot of people don't need more marketing right now, let's be honest. They're needing more coaching to talk through team capacity, improving systems. And so a lot of people are signing up for coaching, so we actually need more coaches too. The coaching is growing. So yeah, I'd say 2 things. If anybody watches this and wants a taste of the coaching, our team does free coaching calls. I don't do them, but our team does a free coaching call for anybody who wants one. You can go to hightrustcoaching.com. Just check it out, which is kind of cool. And then I think it's just such a good we talked about pattern interrupts earlier, changing things up. I think sales mastery it's actually next week. That's crazy. Because I'm getting my team together. A few of us are going to get together live. I know it's not San Diego and going and hanging out live down in an amazing, gorgeous hotel and seeing everybody, but we're going to do our own mini version of that. I think that'll be a really good rekindling for some people. You get that one idea. I know Josh Metal's going to be there sharing some of his just amazing wisdom. And you've had him on. You walk away with one new idea that just kind of fires you back up to finish this year strong. That's what I'm probably most excited about for me personally and my team and my coaching clients that'll be engaging in it. So I definitely encourage people to check it out. And then you get access for it for 30 days after we close, or I think after the event's over.
So check it out, guys. Sales Mastery Event.com. It's not too late to sign up. Make sure you check that out. There'll be a link down below. As Trevor said, high trust coaching. And I knew, I knew you were a coach. I wasn't sure if you were booked, but I wanted to always put my endorsement around the high trust philosophy, the coaching program that Todd does. It doesn't surprise me. You guys are doing so well. You need more coaches.
Hey,
but at the bottom here, it's like, do you have the heart of a coach?
Right.
You can, apply to be a coach. If anybody wants, my endorsement with Todd, and you're a Mortgage Coach member, and I know you, feel free to email me, dave@mortgagecoach.com. I'd be happy to endorse someone, assuming I know you.
Yeah.
But
and people can reach out to me, Dave. Honestly, I love talking to fellow mortgage professionals just around the country. So if anybody has questions, what it's like to be a coach, how much time does it take to be a coach? What's it take to be a coach? How do I fit in coaching with my already busy life? I figured all that out. So I'm happy to share and give some insights as well.
Let me say something else that just came to mind, guys. I just thought of this, and part of how you close 2020 strong and how you be your best self, it is creating content and leading. I mean, part of why I do interviews every single week, and I consider the Mortgage Coach YouTube channel and our group one of the 3 most important things I do as CEO, is because it makes me better. Like when you learn something at a level that you can teach it, when you have to be an accountability partner to other people and coach, you're better. It makes you better. So that's another thing. Now, again, I don't know, there's a lot of people watching this call and you may not qualify to be a high trust coach. But I will tell you, everybody, you need to learn, you need to consume content, but you also need to lead and you need to coach. So I love that you brought up that Todd's looking for more coaches. We just showed you how to get that. So let's wrap this up, brother. But what would be some closing thoughts, on closing the year strong? Like if you were, we just had a coaching session with you for 20-ish, 25 minutes. And now closing thoughts for people that have sat in on this fireside chat, give us some closing thoughts and closing call to action.
Let's talk prospecting. We didn't get to that. I can't, it's funny. And I that's why these live calls, if I'm on a call with a coaching client or one of my loan officers, via Zoom or MS Teams, there's a lot of guilt right now from originators because they know they're supposed to be prospecting, yet they don't have time to prospect. Yet, you need to still be talking to real estate agents, even though you're flooded with refinance opportunities. So there's this mental game going on. And one of the things I would say is you don't get a pass. You've got to keep prospecting. There's no excuses to not be prospecting. But I do give people a little bit of a break and give themselves a break, because a lot of the, if you're doing a lot of refinances, a lot of you, it's because of all the great work you've put in over the last 5, 10, 20 plus years of your career. So don't discount that. That's why your phone's ringing off the hook. So I use the accordion kind of analogy. If you can't spend an hour every day calling real estate agents, financial planners, that's big for us. Could you spend 15 minutes? Because here's what you don't want to happen You know, you don't want to, whenever the refinance craze slows down, right? And nobody knows when it will slow down. But when it does, you don't want to then start calling your real estate agents and have that first agent go, "Hey, Dave, it's been a while. What, did rates go up or something, man? Like, did the refi slow down? I haven't heard from you in a while." No bueno. You do not want that. So what is the minimum you can do and commit to consistently every week right now through the rest of this year to stay top of mind, to add value, and do it in the minimal amount of time, but to still let all those agents and those financial planners, and even maybe some people in your database that don't need to refinance right now that you aren't calling proactively, how do you let them know, I'm still here, I still care about you, I'm still in business, I would still love to help you and anybody you know anytime. I think we have to get back on that. A lot of people have gotten off of prospecting like, man, I can't send anything out to my real estate agents because I can't even imagine them sending me some referrals right now. I'm so busy. And I don't remember when we'd ever thought we'd ever say that out loud, but that's happening right now because people are so busy, and it's great. They're raining loans, helping a lot of families save a lot of money. But if I had one action item besides, you know, the event we're talking about and check out coaching, you know, that's stuff for long-term benefit. But right now, make sure you're still making those calls, having Zoom meetings. If you have to have Zoom, get out in front of those people. Just be curious, ask how they're doing. How can I help? What's the year been like with you? Take here everything you learn from one of your videos on your channel, everything you learn from Sales Mastery next week becomes easy content to then go pay it forward to your real estate agents, to go pay it forward to anybody you're prospecting. You just go learn it, you apply it, and then you go teach it. That's my whole model. I learn, I then apply it, and then I go teach other people how to do it.
So let me give one closing idea because it came up in a recent interview with Josh Metal. And here's a way to turn refis into realtor value. So first of all, the way Josh is reaching out for refis to clients, I think is super unique. This is the script. This is what he's texting clients, you know, so he's putting some color around it. And then here's what I like. Instead of telling people how much he can lower their rate and their monthly payment, he's always talking about how much he can save for the year. Big number. Again, total cost analysis, total selling. And if that's his text, always focused on the annual benefit, words like restructuring your mortgage, he calls the total cost analysis a saving analysis for a refi, which is a pretty sweet little takeaway.
Yep.
When he talks to someone, it's kind of the same script. And guys, Josh is saying, I'm getting a 90%, like when I'm prospecting past clients, it's like 90% of them are like, what's my annual savings? Like everybody wants a savings analysis. Everybody wants that. And then guys, here's the 4 questions he's asking when he has that refi conversation. Do you still like your home? Guys, you should have a goal of not only closing a lot of refis, bringing a lot of move up buyers to your agents. I've covered, you know, the move up strategy where it's refinance versus move up. So if you do not know how to do a move up analysis with Mortgage Coach, guys, you're missing it, because at least the top producers I'm talking to, 20% of their clients want a move up analysis. You know, they may not be ready to like, okay, I'm selling my home and I'm moving up, but they want to evaluate it. They want to have a move up conversation. So these are the questions that Josh is asking. Do you still like your home? How long do you plan to be in the home? When do you want to be mortgage free? I know, Trevor, that plays right into your wheelhouse and the tips you provide. What other mortgage debt would you like to consider eliminating? So guys, but the big thing there, I wanted to give you a little prospecting tip, because it's literally like fishing like dynamite, emailing, texting, pretty much any homeowner. Do you want to know what your annual savings is? And then remember, guys, when you're talking to refi prospects, always assess them for, would they like a move-up analysis? Would they like to see what that looks like? So guys, hopefully this has been a valuable sit-down chat with Trevor Hammond, an amazing leader in our mortgage industry, a change agent. for advice. Trevor, I appreciate what you do for the industry. In my mind, you're one of the most high caliber mortgage advisors. And then you've also trained an army, your branch. You got a lot of great leaders they're not just closing loans, they're helping families build wealth with real estate. So dude, I applaud you for that.
Well, thanks for all you're doing, man. We love your tool. It shortens the sales cycle, right? I mean, these refinances, it is huge to show people what Josh was just saying in that text. And I guess we didn't even get into that, but if you need to interrupt a pattern in that way to use the technology like yours that you provide, change up your sales process, it gets the originators excited about what they're doing, man. The advice, the with video, the light that goes on. If you haven't been doing video, hello. But
yeah, we're going to be doing a 40-minute panel with Josh Metal and Denise Donahue and Todd. So that was one reason. Well, that was the reason I flew to Atlanta. We had Denise Donahue and Josh Metal, and 40 minutes we talked about what it means to deliver a modern mortgage experience. And let's face it, a big part of that is high trust advice. So guys, check it out. Sign up for Mastery if you hadn't. Get coaching, be a coach. If you liked this call, give us a like down below. Share it with your mortgage friends. And Trevor Hammond, until the next time, brother.
Boom, buddy. Stay safe, Dave. Always awesome hanging out with you.
Right on, brother.